Forgiveness isn't always easy, especially when the wounds feel fresh and the apology never comes. But holding onto offense doesn't protect us. It imprisons us. This is the story of Jamila Brooks, a woman who refused to let go until bitterness became a prison she built herself. Inspired by Matthew 6:14 through 15. This is Tales of Kingdom Truth. Jamila hadn't spoken to her sister Kira in 5 years. Not since that day, her wedding. The day Kira, her older sister and maid of honor, took the mic and humiliated her in front of everyone with a so-called toast full of old drama, jealousy, and thinly veiled insults. Jamila had stood frozen as the room turned silent, Kira's voice slicing through the celebration with sarcasm and old resentments dressed up as jokes. Jamila walked away that day, emotionally and relationally, cut off with no explanation. That moment had stayed with Jamila like a shadow. Over the years, she replayed it in her mind like a scratched record, each memory sharpening her bitterness. Jamila's heart hardened. Invitations from family were ignored. She skipped family gatherings, made excuses to avoid birthdays, and silenced every reminder of Kira. Holidays spent without family became normal. She blocked Kira on every platform. To Jamila, silence was safer than forgiveness. But silence has a sound. It's the creak of the floor in an empty apartment, the echo of laughter you're not part of, the whisper of God when you least want to hear Him. To her, it wasn't unforgiveness. It was boundaries. But bitterness disguised as protection still poisons the soul. And the more she avoided her sister, the more she noticed the coldness growing inside of her. Even her closest friends started to say, "You haven't laughed in months." And she knew it. Joy couldn't grow where resentment lived. One evening, while visiting their mother's house, Jamila overheard something that pierced through her armor. Through the cracked door, her niece, Kira's daughter, was kneeling beside the bed in a soft whisper of prayer. "God, please help Auntie Jamila smile again. I miss her." Jamila stood frozen in the hallway, her chest tight. Tears welled in her eyes. It was the first time she realized her unforgiveness hadn't just hurt Kira. It was hurting an entire generation. That night, Jamila opened her Bible for the first time in a long time. She wasn't searching. She was just flipping. Her eyes fell on Matthew 6:14 through 15. It felt like the words were staring into her. "For if ye forgive men their trespasses," she whispered, "Lord, I don't know if I can." But the truth echoed, "You can't ask for what you refuse to give." The next day, her hand trembled as she tapped Kira's name. Her thumb hovered over the call button, and then she pressed it. When Kira answered, Jamila didn't have a speech prepared. Her voice cracked, and all she could say was, "I miss you." No explanation, no defense. Kira whispered, "I've been praying for this call every day for 5 years." The line went quiet. It was the kind of silence that heals instead of hurts. And then, sobs, not just hers, Kira's too. The wall crumbled. The next week, they met at the park. No big speech, no forced reconciliation, just tears, hugs, just two sisters sitting on a bench laughing again, laughter wrapped in the warmth of grace. Jamila wasn't smiling because everything was perfect now. She was smiling because forgiveness had unlocked something that bitterness never could. Forgiveness didn't erase the past, but it healed their present, and it gave their future a chance to breathe. Forgiveness doesn't excuse what happened, but it frees you from the weight of carrying it. If you're holding on to pain, remember, unforgiveness might feel like control, but it only controls you. Let Jamila's story be a reminder. Sometimes the greatest healing comes not from getting an apology, but from giving grace. This was Tales of Kingdom Truth. Until next time, walk in wisdom, speak in love, and remember, the truth is always in the tale.